Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to a video titled EastEnders is a Joke. This is from a smaller channel. You know, this is someone's seemingly first video. We're not aiming to just dogpile on them. We're not aiming to spread any hate. But if you do make a very loud objective like EastEnders is a joke, you're probably going to get some EastEnders fans being like, the video. Or is that the audio balancing's a bit all over the place, so that's not on our end, it's on the video's end.
EastEnders, where do I start? Well, let's start by saying this. EastEnders is the most British, trash, piece of shit show I've ever watched. Straight.
It's like me in that Bianca video. It is very British. That's part of the chat.
Nearly every episode is in the pub.
It's not true, is it? But we're looking at a very small community of people who all gather in the pub because it's the only pub they can get to in the walking distance.
Where's representation? There's only 2 mixed race girls in EastEnders. Where are the black females at? You got Kim and you got the other woman. Do I know the name of?
You can only name one. You can only name one.
If you're saying where's the representation, but you don't know any of the names of the characters you're upset about there not being, maybe you're not paying much attention, you know what I mean?
It'll be kind of like me critiquing DC, the DC universe. Where's all the bloody superheroes? There's only Superman, that Bat guy, who's he?
Patrick is a very good character. In fact, I've got nothing wrong with Patrick. I quite like Patrick, in fact.
Fair enough, I like
Maybe
Patrick
because
as
I'm
well.
Jamaican, maybe I don't know. Now let's move on.
Making it about race again.
The teenagers are all stereotypical, you know, typical teen. They don't tell me
They're
what to do.
teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know. I never understand this thing as a whole with people complaining. Teenagers are teenagers. We've all been teenagers for the most part. We're all muddy little assholes as teenagers. You can't tell me what to do, mum. Whoever takes care of you is doing the best they can for you, trying to get you to see sense. You're like, no, you're just trying to hinder me. I hate you. Yeah, sure, you have some really nice teenagers. Even those teenagers have a bad day. I just don't know why people get so caught up on the, oh, all these teenagers are cringy. Yeah, all teenagers are cringy. Remember your teenage years. You're an absolute knobhead.
Like, just because when you're a teenager, like if people grew up in the 80s as teenagers, to your son now acting the same way in the 2020s, it's going to be 2 different generations.
As someone who was on YouTube in 2008, I loved Charlie the Unicorn, me. But to some people, Charlie the Unicorn's like Skibbity Toilet. Now, is that revolting? Yes. But is it just the fact of life? Yes.
You know, and they all take drugs or they all vape.
Do they all take drugs?
No.
There have been some steroids. Ravi vapes. No one's smoking the weed.
And there's even episodes of that blonde girl, you know, the teenager, that was drinking. Man, the fuck is that?
Yeah, because teenagers never drink. Because underage drinking isn't a problem at all. See, you don't drink, but did you drink when you were underage?
I mean, the only time I really drank when I was underage was in France. Obviously, when you're a child, like your mother, if she's drinking, would just slip you a little sip of it. That was about it.
Occasionally get the slight sip of the dad's lager. Just, oh, try it, Dad. Go on then. Ugh. Underage drink. It's part of British culture. I'm not glorifying it. It's a horrific thing. Hollyoaks is a pretty bad problem with showing a lot of very heavy underage drinking, and it's kind of worrying, but also it does happen.
TV show.
I mean, I remember back in, 18 or 19, that EastEnders had a lot of knife crime, knife fighting in EastEnders.
I mean, they did have a big, like, when Shaki died, it was a big thing. Not really a big thing anymore. It's been a bit of a sticking point in Coronation Street. Coronation Street just did a big, massive episode dedicated about knife crime.
Was slightly better years ago, and they got rid of, what's his name? They got rid of Mick.
So they got rid of Mick, which, you know, fair enough. That's an allowed criticism.
One episode where you got, you know, the black dude with the bald head.
Stop making it about race, man. Stop dictating these characters by their race. You're causing your own problem. I also will argue the square's a lot more diverse than it used to be. You know?
And like what people don't know, they have at least one wheelchair user. Before that's 0, well, except for Doner kebab.
he had apparently his adopted and his adopted
they're
parents
talking about George.
are not the same race as him.
Talking about George
So
and
what
the
I'm
Eddie
saying
stuff.
is that, and then on the table when they were having dinner, the dad or the adopted dad is saying some shit about, oh, there were
Probably
two
comes out
black
one
guys,
Yes.
and the mixed girl says, why do you call them black? And I'm just thinking to myself, ooh, another dickhead, thank you. Because all EastEnders is full of is dickheads everywhere. It's stereotype to the max.
It was telling the story. It's telling the story of George being adopted by a mum who does love him, but with a dad who is a racist. And an interesting story about how it did happen, you know? Babies would be farmed from poorer countries and then would be brought over to the UK, for example, and given a better life in a sense. Like, it's not... It was an actual... it's a thing that happened. It's not stereotypical. And it was a really good storyline. It was tremendous. Probably one of the best things Chris Crenshaw did as his time on the show. It's great.
Okay, there's nothing good about it. And EastEnders couldn't be good if it fucking tried to. The new characters, which I'm going to talk about right now, are Asian, right? And they're wannabe gangsters and all that. They're fucking joke, man.
Who?
They're a
don't
joke.
know.
And they're fucking Indian. Now, that's the
What's wrong
stereotype
with
they
Indians?
make. And that Kim, woman in EastEnders, she's making all black females, she's making us look like we're just loud and lively and a bit ratchet. But no, we're not.
What the fuck is your point, love?
Like I said, just making every character about their race, not about the character, which is not what you do, because you're making them a stereotype from your beliefs or your views, which is causing the problem. It's causing the problem here.
She's making all black females, she's making us look like we're just loud and lively and a bit ratchet. But no, we're not. Okay, I ain't
Okay, you
any
speak
of
for
them
all
fucking
of us.
things. I ain't ratchet, and I never was. I mean, I went to
No one's questioning your ratchet status, but like Kim's not the focal point for black women out there. She's a character. It's just not.
Character in the
I
Star
mean, she was
Sport is
still loud and obnoxious, but like it's not. It's just who the character is as a character. It's not like a indictment. She's not been given that role because of her heritage.
and not to mention, they could have brought any good character, any people with a better personality into EastEnders. I know they're new, yeah, they've literally taken over the entire show. Who the fuck invited these little tramps to come in the show?
Who? Why are they getting called tramps? What are they talking about? And who's been called a tramp?
Who knows? But
They don't even know.
well, I guess they're not tramps, but they are fucking hood rats. So I have seen Coronation Street and Hollyoaks is usually young people on it, which ain't a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. It's just most of them have drug problems. Like they're hallucinating or they're just
Young people with their drug problems.
seeing themselves in a mirror and talking to themselves. That's mostly Hollyoaks, okay?
That is not mostly Hollyoaks.
EastEnders tries to be something different because it's set in different locations. I'm aware that
just blend
Hollyoaks is
them
not set in London. EastEnders is set in London due to the name East.
Yeah, obviously it's East End. It's East End. It's characters from the East End of London is the whole point of this shit.
Well, I didn't know that, Ash. Thank you for telling me. Wow.
East London, which I don't think is actually set in that because the studio must be elsewhere. Apart from that,
Actually, it's in Elstree.
this show ain't good. It's very stereotypical, making people look bad, stereotyping the black females to be all loud and ratchet, which
You've done the
I
same
ain't,
thing.
by the way.
Not all of Not all of the characters are loud and obnoxious. All the characters she's deciding to make about race, then they're not all obnoxious and loud. Is Denise obnoxious and loud? No. Is Yolande obnoxious and loud? No. Like, Christ.
Like, EastEnders just ain't that. I'm sorry. This is the end.
This is the end. I think my favorite point is the time they have to reiterate that they're not Ratchet. It's a personal favorite, and
I'm not.
I was also them just saying, "Oh well, another dickhead then." Good delivery, nailed the delivery. But yeah, look, I do somewhat agree. If you're viewing it all in the lens of it being a race problem, then you're not really giving it a fair shot. And you're the one making it about race, so therefore your judgments of these characters within your lens of race aren't going to be the nicest. Because if you are looking at Kim and you're being like, well, she speaks for all black women here, wow, she's obnoxious, making the rest of us look bad. It's not how it works. So
It's just not the same.
There's also just a lot more bad things about EastEnders than representation.
Right.
There's a lot worse things about EastEnders right now than race. It's all in jest. Fun video. Had some good moments. Keep it up if you continue with the EastEnders. Fix your microphone first and foremost. I mean, hey, it's not to disincentivize. We do love new people coming into the EastEnders space. So there we are. Those are our reactions to EastEnders is a joke. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell us in the comment section down below. This is the end.